Hello and welcome once again to my layout New Junction. Right, this week the order of the day is most definitely ballasting. You saw me just begin it on the last video, so you can pretty much tell what the subject of this video is going to be. But there is also a slight visit to a brand new model railway shop later on in the video. So, less procrastinating, let's get on. As you can see, I've ballasted the tracks up to or just before the baseboard joint. Now, before I go any closer, I'm actually going to put in a bit of plastic card in between the rails and just get it down to ground level. Now, what this will hopefully do is give me as clean a cut in the ballast as possible in between baseboard joints. So when the baseboard is pulled apart in future, hopefully the ballast will have already been shaped roughly to the baseboard gap. So hopefully we won't have massive clumps of ballast to refill before it goes on exhibition. So we come to another hurdle. As you can see, this is a join in the track, and what I've done is when I've laid the track, because it's on a curve, I've taken away the end sleepers on each side. Now, this is very easy, as I'm sure you'll be aware. You take spare sleepers, always save your sleepers, cut the pandrel clips off the top, and they'll just slide in, all being well. Now, mine won't because it's right under a fish plate and I'm filming, but you get the gist. Slide in, and it's a case of respace them, making sure they're in the right place before sticking the ballast on. So as we can see, looking in from this side, which is the inside of the layout, the ballast is looking alright, with a bit of fettling. But of course, because it's on a banked curve, if I show you from this angle, you can see that some of the edges are revealed still. So it's very important to go around both sides of the layout when doing this, particularly when the track is on a cant and super elevated. It's also why I'm not using a traditional ballast mate, which would normally fill up with ballast and then drag it across the track, and you'd get a nice balanced shoulder on both sides. Now, I don't really want to do that on this because it's elevated, so I'll have too much ballast on one side and not enough on the other. So what are you thinking? I've not gone into the tunnel when I probably should have. Now, I've painted up until about there, which is how far I'm going to ballast currently. Now, what's special about that particular point is that's just on the other side of this tunnel. So I'm going to remove the tunnel portals and then ballast up to where I've painted. And again, ballasting to this level, so lightly in the middle and then very small shoulders. And I'll do the centre and the outside bits at a later date. And then going further forward, I'll go all the way back to the baseboard join, but I'll do that from the opposite side. I've got a tiny bit of fettling to do before I continue, because this bit of baseboard also needs to be painted brown. It'll all be covered with ballast eventually, but it's just in case down the line, if any ballast gets moved around, we've got a non-plywood undercoat. So before I commit to ballasting and painting the track on the second board in, I thought I'll just have a quick going over of the rails just to see if I need any more electrical droppers added. Now I've turned the stabilisers off on this loco, so watching the loco, the sound, the lights very carefully. I'll know if I've got a dead spot, but as I have been playing with the trains for quite some time, I don't seem to have one, but it's always worth a check before you commit to ballasting. And as ever, Lulu is in here. As you can see, she's there, fast asleep, with the sounds and all my activities late at night, not bothering her one bit. Poor thing. Right, so here we are. We are ready to ballast the next board now. Just as last time, I'm going to use the chinchilla sand again off Amazon. But I'm hoping, because we're now on level track, that I'll be able to use my trusty ballast mate this time. Previously, I couldn't use it because I was on the elevated ground, so I'd have too much one side and not enough the other. So I'm going to give this a test, possibly on this line, just so if I have too much, because it's finer, I can use it on the other tracks, other lines. Right, let's fill it up and get going. Wish me luck. Look at that, a lovely pour. So I'm now going to brush that in and see how much excess we have, and yeah, continue. So this is now getting to a place that I'm quite happy with, so I'm going to titivate a little bit more and then move on with the ballasting. Now, last time you may remember that I was contacted by West Hill Wagon Works, who actually had designed a fence with angles, so 22.5 degrees and 45 degree angles to go up hills, perfect for my tunnels. Now, they also got in touch after they sent me a couple of samples to see would this work, to say they're having a grand opening day of their brand new retail store. Now, being fairly local, I thought this is going to be silly not to go. So I packed the car with a couple of test trains and I thought, let's go and see what they have to offer. here I am. I have come all the way to West Hill Wagon Works' brand new retail shop, and I'm joined by one of the Chris's.
Yep.
This is your opening day.
Yes, it is indeed. It's been quite amazing, really. The turnout we've had has been brilliant, and we're really humbled with the feedback that we've had. And it's just been, yeah, wow.
So for those at home watching who've never heard of West Hill Wagon Works, where have you been? Just in summary, what do you do?
So obviously, as many are aware, and those that aren't, we manufacture model railway parts. We manufacture the magnetic coupling system, hunt magnetic couplings. We do various layout accessories for workshop, depots, stations, platforms, even your layout accessories for like track setters, templates, etc. Well,
and you mainly deal, or previously have mainly dealt online with your products?
Yes. So we've dealt online, and then we expanded to exhibitions, which went, wow, really busy. And then we get many customers requesting, oh, can we come down, have a look at your product range? And here we are.
So obviously most people have probably seen you at an exhibition with the big red stand.
Yes.
And all the big red uniforms.
Yep.
Now we're in a retail space, and obviously you've got your typical shelves, but
Yes.
you've got a giant layout.
Yes.
How did this come about?
So the idea for this was, originally it was for testing of the magnetic coupling systems, and then we've started to basically fill it with products that we do. It's going to be a work in progress, so people will see it adapt bit by bit. So we've got a workshop depot, we've got station platforms that will be going in, and they'll start to see new kits. Some people have seen some of the previews of the future releases today as well, which has been quite interesting.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yep. So, but they'll be coming very soon. And yeah, the main thing is it's there just to, people can come down, they can actually have a play with the layout as well. They can use our locomotives, some can even bring their own for testing as well.
Like we have done today.
Yes, so we've been quite fortunate today. Obviously thank you to Akira Scale for coming down and helping supporting local shops. And it's been great for people to see many of the new locomotives running and see them in person.
So, although I've been here today under the guise of a Cura Scale,
Yes.
running our new 66, I am here for selfish reasons.
Yes.
Which is, I had a dilemma with my fencing.
Yes.
And this is, I think this summarises what you do to a T, is I had a problem with the other brands of fence.
Yeah.
And I needed something different.
Yes.
And through your way of innovating products and creating your own products from scratch, you've solved my problem.
Yes. Well, hopefully we have. Obviously, it's giving that fencing at the right angle, the details there, and obviously it should look absolutely stunning when it's done, which I'm looking forward to.
And that, of course, is just one product, but endless range, it seems, for
Yeah.
all that kind of solution, but for every angle.
Everything's down to your imagination. Obviously, it's what we can do. Obviously, with the adaptability of what we do with 3D printing and the machining we're doing, everything we do is in-house. So we have that adaptability to create something and get it out there pretty sharpish and hopefully make it stuff people want.
And if I have to nail you down to a product you're particularly proud of from designing yourself, which one could I nail you to? I'm guessing it's not going to be fencing.
The fencing I am really proud of, actually, the details.
It was
come out
clever.
of that. Some of them, we've all, because it's not just myself, there's all members of the team that contribute towards, whether that's Dave with some of the engines, there's things like the depot interior kit, which has been really successful, but probably the one I'm most proud of is the one that's not come out yet.
Oh, are we allowed to say what it is?
So it's some of the, obviously some people have seen some previews of it. It is the overhead line equipment that is arriving, and yeah, really proud of how that's coming along. So it's not far off. But
I've got a layout that might suit that.
Yes.
And of course, new retail shop.
Yes.
All the gauges you do, including TT.
Yes, so we do cover N-gauge, 00, TT and O-gauge as well. And obviously with the 00, that covers various 009 layouts.
Where's the best place for someone to see what you do?
The best place for someone to see what we do is obviously in store. You can sit, have a chat to us, you can see us as exhibitions, or we're on the other end of a phone.
Well, Chris, thank you very much.
That's
and I'm
nice.
going to hopefully do justice to your new fence.
No, is it?
No pressure.
It'll all go ahead.
While you've been gone with me to West Hill Wagon Works, I have been busy ballasting the track, and all I can say is, whose stupid idea was it to do a 4-track mainline? It's taking forever. Right, I'm quite happy with how this is looking, so I'm going to continue dry ballasting before gluing, and getting further down the layout and seeing how we go. And there we go. As you can see, the ballasting has gone on fairly well, actually. Yeah, although it's a long-winded process, it's quite enjoyable if you put some music on, or you can even watch your favourite YouTube channels on an iPad or similar while you work on the layout. But either way, we're getting closer to this side of the layout being scened up. So there we go. Ballasting is well underway, and as you can see, this side is almost done, give or take a few areas. Now, off camera, I'm going to work on the points. I've got to fit the point motors first, and also this piece of track needs adjusting before it can be painted and ballasted. But the good news is, once I've added the glue and the washing up liquid mix, I can replace the tunnel mouths on that end and then seal in the tunnel mouths that end and work on the scenery. And I'm, for one, very looking forward to getting this side off the ground, as it were, in terms of scenery. So grasses, trees, fences, all the details, maybe even an overhead or two. Watch this space. So I'm going to leave it there and say a big thank you very much for watching, as ever. Don't forget, if you're new here and you'd like to keep up to date with all the new Junction layout updates, you can do for free by clicking the subscribe button right below this video. I'm going to say, as always, a big thank you to the channel patrons. It's very much appreciated, as always. And don't forget, if you want to check out some of the behind the scenes content, there'll be a link below this video. Right, the next time I will do a video will probably be in a couple of weeks' time. I've got Model Rail Scotland to come, and I'll be there on the Acura scale stand. So if you're in the area, do pop on, do say hello. Right, so I should stop waffling and get gluing. Wish me luck, but I'll say bye for now.